What's going on? Hey, everybody. This is Matt Bowman is Bothered. What's going on, you cats and dogs, you guys and gals, you guys and dolls, you guys and cats, cats and gals and dogs, all of it. This is Matt Bowman is Bothered. I'm Matt Bowman, and I'm glad you're here. I really, really am. If you like me, please follow me on wherever. Matt Bowman Comedy on Instagram and TikTok, at Batmoman, BATTMOWMAN on Twitter. It's not Batwoman, hence I changed it, because I would tell too many people. After like the 100th person, I would be like, hey, you follow me on Instagram, and they're like, oh, what is it? And I'm like, it's Batmoman. And they're like, what is that? I was like, Batmoman. They're like, Batwoman? And no. Why is it that? Well, it's my first name and my last name put together, but the first letter of each word is, you know what I'm saying? It was stupid. I made it in high school. Actually, I didn't even make it in high school. My friend made it. This is irrelevant and stupid. But please follow me on there. I'm trying to get better at posting or saying this shit up top, because that's when people listen. So thanks for being here. Let's see. Big fucking week for me. Last week. I didn't have an episode. I meant to have one, but Sam and I, my girlfriend, traveled to Maine this past week. That was super dope. I really, really had a good time there. It was really fun. But yeah, I meant to post that. I meant to take a post. We were driving on Friday. I meant to post it on Friday, and then it didn't happen. I woke up, I was like, fuck, I gotta post that on Saturday, but we didn't, because we got up super early to hike, and it just never happened. It just never found the time to do it. And so I was just like, fuck it, we'll just take the week off and just post an episode for this week. So yeah, that's out now. Matt Bowman is Bothered, episode 5, I believe. I'm on episode 5. Boy, is my life just flying by at an alarming rate. It's pretty crazy. And it's I think epitomized by the fact that my back just always hurts, dude. It's never not hurting. Like, my baseline is just not hurting. I have no idea how people who are like in contact sports, or how old people are just not, how are they alive sometimes? I get why they're upset. They're just angry because the world is changing and their body hurts. Those are like the two biggest things that would cause me to be upset. You know, I think I'm just in a crotchety mood all the time because just my extremities are rebelling against me. And I don't know, dude. Like, you ever see like an old guy or lady, but generally an old guy that's almost just like bent over? They're just bent over at like the waist, and that's just like as far as they can stand up. And you're like, how did that happen? And it's just because their back hurts since 75. Not the age, but the year. Their back's been hurting since 1975, and eventually that just kind of takes you forward a little bit. And I've already started that process. I'm not even 30. I'm 29. I'm in my late 20s, and my back hurts so much. And I do everything for it. Well, that's not true. But I try to do things for it. Like today, I exercised, which is apparently a thing you should be doing. You gotta do that to keep everything going. I do like when people make fun of people that say to exercise. Like, people are either like overweight, or they're depressed, or they're whatever, and people are like, hey, should you exercise? And it's like, no, I need pharmaceutical drugs from a company. She's like, well, maybe before you take that step, maybe you just, like, go outside for a walk. I will never do that. All right. Do whatever you want, but I feel pretty good after exercising. But my back still hurts. My back still be hurting. Like today, I exercised. I did a bunch of cardio. Didn't do any weights because I either did or still have, or maybe never have, and it was all psychosomatic. But like, I think I had pulled something in my like abs or something, and it was making my groin balls hurt a little bit, and I'm not sure. I just didn't want to aggravate that anymore, so I just was doing some light cardio. Did light cardio, stretched for like 20 minutes, took a hot shower, and my back still hurts, dude. It was one of those where, like, it was making my head hurt. Like, my head was aching. It was like I was hungover, and I was like, I haven't drank in days, and my body, it just, I don't know. I think I need to drink more water. Dude, there's so many things that you just have to do to just be alive. Like, well, you know? I don't know. People say that, like, humans, we like to think that we're top dog because we have, like, McDonald's or something. Like, we invented bridges. Okay, cool. But I don't think we're the smartest. We do the dumbest shit. Like, say what you want about, I don't know, beavers, but no beaver has ever gotten to the end of the day and was like, oh my God, I forgot to drink water today. Holy shit, dude. I haven't eaten since yesterday. No, dude. Humans do that shit all the time. And it's crazy. You'll get to the end of the day and you'll be like, oh my God, I had no liquid. None. I had 4 cups of coffee this morning, which dehydrated me, and nothing since then. We're not the smartest people. We're not the smartest people. We're not the smartest animals. I think we've got really good qualities. There's a lot of shit going for us. Like, if I made a pro-con, the pro list would be pretty long. But the con list is pretty long as well. We forget to drink water. I had friends in college that were art majors, so they're already, like, frail and almost dead. And the art department was in a building that was, like, downtown, like, off of the main campus. And so I would have a couple friends that would be like, yeah, I haven't eaten anything since Tuesday at 11. What are you doing, dude? Are you saving nuts for the winter? What is with this squirrel-like behavior? How do you forget to do that? That's not how my family was raised. And that's not how I think Christ would want you to live. My family eats... our whole world revolves around when the meal is. We're not Italian, but boy, do we have Italian tendencies when it comes to food like that. Like, eating a meal is so fucking important to whatever our plans are. If we're on vacation, even if we're at the Grand Canyon, like, fucking Grand Canyon, look at it, is number 2. Number 1 is when and where are we gonna eat? How are we gonna do it? What's being presented? We go on vacation with a family of ours, a family friends of ours. We grew up together, and there's an infamous line that the dad in that family said was, we were planning our events for the next day, and I think we were at Disney World, maybe we were at a national park somewhere. You know, those are the same thing, Disney World and fucking Yosemite, whatever. But we were trying to plan out the next day, and he was just like, oh, okay, so we'll do this, and we'll do this, and then we can, like, snack through lunch, and then we'll have a big dinner. And then collectively, my family as a unit was just like, you fucking take that shit back. I'm about to wash your mouth out with soap, young man. Snack through lunch. That is listed in, like, that's the 11th commandment, that you can't, thou shalt not snack through lunch. That's horse shit. Give me a full meal. Like, I'll go out of my way from what I'm doing to have a full meal. Like, if we're in the Grand Canyon and I don't have a full meal, I'll kill an elk or whatever's down there. A goat, something. Because we need food. I need food. And that runs through all of the Bowmans. All Bowmans are exactly the same when it comes to food. We need it. Where is it? Who made it? and thank you so much for doing so. It's kind of how it goes. So yeah, humans are dumb. How did I get off on that? Oh, I needed to drink. I need to drink more water. That's right. Yeah. Funny how water like kicks food's ass in terms of importance, but no one gives a shit about it. You know? That's not like an event. It's never an event to say that you drank as much water as you should. No one's ever just like, hey, did you check out that new water place? It rips. Dude, their H2O is just crisp. No, it's always food. But you don't need food as much. You can go weeks without eating food. I'm pretty sure you go a couple hours without water, you die. I think that's correct. I'm not a scientist, nor a doctor, nor do I want to be. Yeah, you gotta drink water, and I'm trying to do more of it. Because crazy enough, it helps you feel better. But yeah, I'm trying. I also started to exercise because I'm fucking fat, dude. I'm getting so fat. You can't tell right now because I'm hiding it very well, but just like down here is just a shite show. It's like, it's not, I'm not like obese. I understand that. But I have put on, this is going to sound stupid to people, but I have put on probably 7 to 8 pounds, which sounds like nothing, but when you only weighed 145 beforehand, almost 10 pounds of not muscle, you can really see. You know, like when I'm putting on my shirt and like shit's just kind of like sticking out a little bit and you're like, ugh. Ew, dude. And I know people are going to be like, nah, dude, you should fucking love yourself, man. Love the body you've got. And it's just like, all right, but what if the body I got is a fat piece of shit? What about that? What if those are the cards I've been dealt? And what if my current behavior is making me feel like shit? Nah, dude, but you just gotta it's cool, man. Just do whatever you want and you'll feel fine. No. I think you can be allowed to be like, yeah, you as a person have value because you're a person, but also be like, hey, man, you're getting a little fucking fat. Why is that wrong to say? Now, you shouldn't go up to random people. You shouldn't go up to a stranger and be like, ha, 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 you fat shit. That's rude, and you shouldn't do that. That's mean. That's not the point. But if you make a decision, or someone close to you who loves you and has your best interest at heart is like, hey, man, putting on a couple lbs. Maybe you should work on that. I think that's totally fine, and you should do that. And if you're a guy making fun of your friends, you should do it relentlessly. Take him down 5 pegs. That's the kind of motivation that guys need to go exercise. Is just enough of their friends calling them a fat pig, and that they go and actually improve themselves. That's really what it takes. It takes a strong-willed guy to really do it on his own. What it really takes is just a couple of your friends going whenever you show up to a room, and then you'll be like, all right, you're right. I should probably hop on a treadmill at some point. And that's for their good. That's for their own betterment. And you know what? The crazy thing is when you exercise and drink water and eat well, you feel good. What the fuck? That's crazy. It's crazy to say that, but you do. You feel spectacular when you do all of those things. So I'm trying to do that again. I'm trying to improve lots of aspects of my life. I'm reading again, trying to read. Reading. I'm going to exercise every day. I'm drinking water. There's a lot of changes coming. Yeah, reading, water, exercise. Pardon me. Ugh. And trying to eat better, trying to eat cleaner, trying to eat cleaner and leaner, baby. I don't know, but yeah, getting fat. Not as fat as my friend TJ. He's the fattest guy I know. If you listen to this podcast, you might know who TJ is. He's another comic in New York. His name is TJ Francis. You can follow him and listen to his bullshit podcast, the TJ Francis program. And yeah, you can go listen to that. And he'll probably just be talking about how fat he is. That's probably what he's gonna probably spend most of the time being like, yeah, I'm a big hunk of doo-doo. Because that's what he is. I have put on a couple pounds, but I am nowhere near that slob of a person in terms of girth and just like air displacement. Because that's what he's doing as he walks through like life. He's just displacing exponentially more air than I am because he is fat. That's my boy TJ Francis, dude. The largest person you've ever seen in your goddamn life. There's, again, as always, well, not as always, but for the most part, recording on Saturdays. So recording here, watching some college football. Love college football. But I got a couple bones to pick again with the mainstream coverage of college football. Mainly, ESPN is the biggest culprit. I hate ESPN. I really do. Like, what's it good for? Other than the live coverage of the sporting events, the rest of the network is caca. Is shitola. It's bad. The majority, almost all of their original programming sucks ass. It's not good. There's nobody, I don't turn on ESPN to listen to anyone really in particular. There's Stephen A. Smith, but I think he has one card, which is he read a thesaurus 15 seconds before he went on air and is relentlessly trying to remember every single new word he learned in the past 24 hours and just throwing that out there without actually, providing much of substance, like much of anything at all. SportsCenter is down the toilet. SportsCenter sucks. SportsCenter used to be, hey, here's a collection of all of the dopest highlights and dunks and home runs and fucking aces and all of that shit. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, we're going to emphasize the big markets, but that's where people spend the most money and that's where the most population is, so we got to skew a little bit of that. And I understand that, but that's when it was the shit. And that's when they had really cool actual personalities on there on SportsCenter. Like, I don't remember like the OGs like Dan Patrick or Berman, but like I remember Scott Van Pelt, fucking Stuart Scott, R.I.P., John Butchergross, fucking what's his Neil something. Shit, why can't I remember his name? Bartender, that's what he used to say. Neil Everett, there it is. Stan Verrett. Those guys, like they had something. They had like a personality, You turn on SportsCenter now, it's a fucking conglomeration of who gives a shit. None of these people are interesting or remotely fun or have anything to really say for themselves. They're not good. No one cares. And yeah, ESPN. Oh, that was I got so worked up about that thing. Yeah, ESPN really grinds my goat because every single offseason for college football, every goddamn one for my entire life, post 2004, every single year they say the U is back. Look out. The U is back. They'll say that all preseason, and then they're praying that they get a good win. Here's the thing: they're not back. The U is not back and won't be back for the foreseeable future. It's not gonna happen. They will never be better than 25th, 23rd in the country, and that's about it. That's their fucking ceiling, dude. You know how I know this? They lost to Middle Tennessee State University last week. That sounds not real. Middle Tennessee State University sounds like it's a school from a Key and Peele sketch. Someone named LeCarpetron Duke Marriott should be going to Middle Tennessee State University. They should not be beating, supposedly, a program that's on the come-up. They've been on the come-up, turning the ship around for 20 fucking years. It's not gonna happen. You imbeciles. Like, you cannot say the U is back over and over and over and over and over again and have it not happen, and also have evidence playing out explicitly to the contrary. You lost to Middle Tennessee State. As I'm saying that, I'm like, that might as well be ITT Tech. They might as well have lost to DeVry University or fucking some, like, University of the Phoenix or whatever the hell that scam is called. I can't believe that they lost to Middle Tennessee State and then want to be like, yeah, but the U's back, baby. They're not. They're just one of those programs that they are just wishing, they are hoping against hope that is actually going to come back to prominence, but it's not. Same with, they do the same shit with Notre Dame. Every fucking year, Notre Dame is somehow a top 10 team, and by the end of it, you guessed it, they finish like 10-2, 9-3, and they go to a barely bowl game and either win barely or lose embarrassingly. That's what they do. That now, yes, they're Catholic, and Rudy was a great movie, but stop putting them so motherfrickin' high. Stop doing it. It's annoying. I find it, same with Texas. Texas is another one. Actually, Texas is actually impressive how they've been able to stay so subpar and mediocre for so long. I mean, even more so than, like, Notre Dame. Like, Notre Dame had, like, the prestige and the history and the longevity, all of that. But, like, fucking South Bend, Indiana is not a hotbed for football talent. Very few people are from South Bend, except for, I believe, Pete Buttigieg. And not exactly an All-American athlete, that guy. That's the cream of the crop that comes out of a place like South Bend, Indiana, is a barely gay, barely politician, political guy. That's about it. That's their ceiling. And so I get why Notre Dame has kind of fallen by the wayside, but like Texas, dude, that's where they build football players. Like, the biggest white boys you've ever seen in your life, and then just a smattering of also really good black guys. That's kind of what is in Texas, and they have been royally bad for a while. They should have beaten Alabama this season, and that was a very close game. It was a very close game, and they should have won that game. But it's just another one of these fucking narrative things that they're always just like, they're back. I think that was, what was it? Did they beat Notre Dame, or they beat like TC, like a number 15 TCU or some team? It was a good win, but it wasn't like they didn't beat a top 5 team. But I remember Joe Tessitore was on the call, and like the quarterback in overtime, like dives across the goal line, scores a touchdown, and he's just like, and folks, Texas is back. And that was 6 years ago. They ain't back, folks. They're not back. Texas, Notre Dame, and the U are not back. And at least one, if not two of those, will probably never get back to where they once were. Texas is the only one that I kind of believe in, because it seems insane that a program like Texas, in such a recruiting hotbed, would be able to shit the bed forever. The U, I don't know, dude. The U doesn't... Like, there's just so many other good schools in the SEC and the ACC down there that's just recruiting away. Like, why would you go to Miami when you could go to Florida? Or why would you go to Miami when you could go to Alabama or Georgia? You know? I think they're in trouble. You know? They're in trouble. That's what I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. Oh, so yeah, like I said, went to Maine this last year. Jesus Christ, drink more water. This past week, went to Maine. This is going to come out next week, so it'll be 2 weeks ago when you hear this that I was in Maine. But just a stunning place. It's so great. But I will say that everywhere there looks haunted. Everything there looks haunted, but I don't think it can be. Maine, it looks beautiful, but it's definitely a weird place. Everyone's old. Like, everyone is old. Like, there was a time, like, we got there and we went to the grocery store immediately, and everyone in there was over 65. Like, it was, I don't know how or why, but everyone in Maine is old. I saw 0 children, and the ones that I did were being chased by an evil clown, which was a fun thing to see. But other than that, not a single young person, no children, no people. What the hell? I am so sorry. Not a single middle-aged ever. It was me and Sam and the fucking bingo club was who was there. And yeah, it's a beautiful place. But it's everything looks haunted but isn't actually. That's kind of the vibe of Maine. Maine is a great place to go if you're in the witness protection program. That's what Maine is really best for, because it's kind of just up there, and nobody's really checked in on them for realsies in decades. Like, I guess they vote, but who gives a shit? Whoever's up there clearly doesn't want you to visit them. Like, again, it's a beautiful place, but it's so far away. Like, I live in New York City, which is essentially in the Atlantic Ocean, and it's still like a 9-hour drive to get to Maine. That's how far away it is. It's just tucked up in the little, not the asshole, because that's like Florida. It's tucked up in like behind the ear of the United States. You know, it's not the armpit, because it is a fun, it's not stinky. The armpit would be like, you know, fucking Jersey, New York, Philly. Like, that's kind of the armpit in terms of like hot, smelly garbage. But yeah, Maine is the behind the ear of the United States, because it's there, and every now and then people would be like, hey, wash behind your ears, but nobody really checks in on it. Nobody really takes a look. And I think they want it that way. They want it that way so that they can keep being up there and talking about how much they love lobster and Stephen King. Those are their... When Stephen King dies, that Maine will have no other exports. The industry in Maine will collapse when Stephen King dies. That's about it. They've got Stephen King and lobsters. That's it. You know. We went whale watching while we were out there. What a scam. Whale watching is a scam, dude. It costs $155, and you never see whales. Ever. I've been whale watching a dozen times in my life. I've seen one whale, maybe. that you never see them. You never see whales when you're whale watching. And there's always the same jerk off who's like giving the little presentation, like as you're driving along. He's like, and on the starboard side of the you're going to be seeing that there's that guy. And he's always just like, well, folks, that concludes the thing for the day. But we didn't see any whales last time. It's always last time. The last fucking voyage always saw all the whales. They were like, oh, folks, sorry, we didn't get to see anything today. Earlier in the week, we saw every whale. And you're like, well, this is a waste of my time. I just paid my rent money to just feel nauseous for 3.5 hours. That's essentially what whale watching is. And then they try to cover their ass by being like, oh, well, we got to see some amazing birds today. Hey, dude, opposite of what I'm looking for. I didn't pay to see some frickin' birds. There's birds all over the place. I'll kill 7 birds if it means I could see a whale like I paid for. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to see whales, and you produced 0 of them. There were no whales. We saw 0 whales, saw a bunch of birds, and then they were like, oh, over here is some harbor porpoises. That sounds made up. Harbor porpoises? I barely believe that the word porpoise is the correct word to use. And then you just attach on something that's barely related. Harbor porpoises? Oh, I'm sorry, did I miss the tributary trout? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? I'm smelling a scam here. I'm smelling a scam. I don't know. I mean, because I will say that as we're on the boat and I'm kind of thinking this, and like that just kept going minutes and minutes and hours without seeing any whales, and I'm just like very frustrated with it. I also have the thought of like, well, what the fuck is he supposed to do? He's not Poseidon. He can't be like, and come forth the whales. That's not how it works. The whales, they be whaling. Their whales are just out there doing their thing. And they don't have to bend to what we want. They don't have to bend to our schedule. The schedule of the HMS Odyssey. Or whatever the hell our boat was called. I think it was called Odyssey. It's always Odyssey. It's always like Odyssey, the Greek god of myths, rus.com, whale watching. That's it, whatever. But yeah, what do I want him to do? I don't know. I just want to see some frickin' whales. And I'm annoyed that this 20-year-old wasn't able to produce said outcome. Yeah. Dude, they could have just taken us anywhere. I don't know. He could be lying. I don't know where the best place is to see whales. They could just have they're in the area, They're on the ocean. You can just set up a stand. Like what credentials do you need to see whales? I could essentially just go start a business, I could just move to Portland, Maine, set up a shack, get a license. I don't even know if you need a license. Just set up a thing and just be like, hey, we're doing whale watching tours today. Like, wait, what? How? Do you know where the whales are? Not even remotely. Like, not even a little bit. We're just going to go out there and hang out. We're going to go figure it out. It's a sham, guys. It's your girlfriend's idea. I get that. That was my girlfriend's idea, and I wanted to go for her. I also wanted to see a whale. Whales are fucking cool. Whales are big. I believe I read that they're the biggest living thing to ever exist on the planet is like the giant blue whale. And I think that's something that's funny. That throughout all time, and now it's the biggest. Whatever. It's not funny. It's just a observation. But yeah, it's always your girlfriend's idea, generally, to go whale watching. And it was funny because I get car sick. So I get motion sickness. Not bad, but like kind of bad. And she doesn't at all. So she goes in all cocky and shit. She's like, you feeling a little sick? You feeling a little tim-tim? And then guess who at the end of the trip was just like hanging on to me, just like, oh my God, I don't feel very good. Oh, baby, I don't feel very good. no, I don't feel very good. Yeah, I bet you fucking don't. That's what you get. That's karma, dude. Because I didn't feel good either. But you just kind of got to push through it and hope that you see some whales, but you never do. Never see any whales. I don't know. So don't go. If you're thinking about going whale watching, don't go, because it's always the last one. The last tour was always the one that had all of the whales. It's never the one you're on. It's always the one you just missed. Just missed it. I want to go on back-to-back. I want to go on like one in the morning and then one in the afternoon, and then have them be like, oh, well, on our earlier voyage, we saw a bunch. Bullshit. Bullshit. Just be like, I was there for both of them. We didn't see anything. There were no whales. I think all the whales are dead. They could be dead. They might be dead. Because I've never seen them on a whale watching trip ever once, not nada. It's my thoughts on whale watching. I don't know, I just have other thoughts about animals. Like my friend Chris was doing a bit where he was talking about how he brought up koala bears. And I think one of the only things that people know about koala bears is that they all have like chlamydia. That's something that's just like out there. And I just thought it would be like, do you think the koala bears know that we're telling everybody they've got chlamydia? Like, do you think they'd be a little bit pissed if they found out? Like, they're like, hey man, you've been telling people I have chlamydia? Like, yeah, dude, I have. Dude, what the fuck? I told you that in confidence, dude. It's embarrassing. Dude, I'm going through this. My mom knows now, dude. My mom found out. That's fucked up. That's fucked up of you to do that. I think they'd be pissed if they found out that we were just telling everybody. I don't know. That's very stupid. But it's also funny that that's like a thing that's attributed to a specific animal. That this animal, hey, just so you know, this animal has chlamydia. That doesn't. Nobody is just like, hey, dude, don't touch snakes. They all have gonorrhea. Dude, get away from dogs, because you know about dogs, herpes. They got the herpes. That's not... That would be... What if that's funny? You get a guy who has herpes, but the only way you can get herpes, it just means he fucked a dog. I don't know. I don't know if that's that funny, but it makes me chuckle. I don't know. How do they get it? How do they get chlamydia? Like, hold on, I'm going to look that up. How did koala bears get chlamydia? How did koala bears get chlamydia? It's the first fucking thing when you type, how do koala bears? Adult koala bears catch chlamydia just as people do, through sexual transmission. Oh, so they're just banging it out, dude. Koala bears are just out there yanking it. But young koalas can also become infected by eating pap, a nutritious type of feces, when it is excreted by infected mothers. Gross. Also, nutritious type of feces sounds wrong. Like, I think there's a nutritious for who? Because apparently not for the koalas. Like, if you told the koala bears, like, hey, this will give you a good source of vitamin D, but it's also going to make your coochie itch. You might be like, oh, okay, I'm probably gonna pass on that one. I'm gonna forego that nutrition and eat some other shit. Also, I love that their feces has a specific name, pap. That's the good shit. Literally, that's the shit that you can eat. But you can eat it. Is it edible if it gives you chlamydia? I feel like if that was a side effect of something, I wouldn't be like, that's edible. Like, if you found out tomorrow that, like, if you eat 3 corn on the cob, you get testicular cancer. Yes, it's edible, but it's like, is it though? Like, it's not really, because there's some pretty dramatic side effects here. Interesting. Maybe I'm making this up, but do all koalas have... I typed in do all koalas, and the first results are hibernate, have syphilis, have chlamydia, have gonorrhea. Damn, dude, we are really dragging these guys through the mud. Dragging their name through the mud. Do all koalas... Answer my question. Australia's koalas are in the grip of a chlamydia epidemic. Uh-oh. With up to 100% of some populations testing positive for the sexually transmitted infection. That is as of October 18th, 2021. Damn, dude. Somebody's got to teach these koalas to stop boning. Changes. Yeah, dude. That's funny that they're like that. Let's check on, before we get out of here, let's check on some college football scores so I can do an update on those. I'm feeling... Okay, so Michigan's kicking the hell out of Iowa. Dude, Oklahoma, dude, that's another program. Dude, what a wannabe. I mean, I know they made the playoff a couple times, but, like, come on. So they lost last week to Kansas State, obviously. And now, right now, as I'm recording this, they're playing TCU, who is 3-0 but unranked. Oklahoma's 18th, and they are losing 55-17. You suck. You suck. I'm tired of this idea that the Big 12 is good at football. It's not. It's really not. Like, your marquee programs are Oklahoma and Texas, both of which who are going to the SEC in, I believe, very soon. Oklahoma, I don't know how it happened that every single athletic director and head coach in the Big 12 was just like collectively got together and was like, hey, we're never playing defense. Is that cool? We want all of our scores to be 75-70. Does that work with everybody? Work with everybody? Perfect. They're not, and then they play good teams. They play a Bama, a Georgia, an Ohio State, a Clemson, and they don't do very well. Will they get an occasional win? Sure. Did Baker Mayfield beat my guys at home? And he tried to plant a flag into AstroTurf, that fucking idiot? Yeah, they did do that. But on the whole, they're not that great. I don't know. It bothers me. It bothers me when, like, I know I'm probably coming off a little bit pretentious right here, simply because my team is Ohio State, and I am very blessed to have them be really, really good almost all the time. But it bothers me when programs are consistently just like, yeah, but we're good. We us too. Look at us too. And then they're just not. They're just not that good. Oops, not good. Uh-oh, not that good at football. They're fine. They deserve to be, well, now they're going to be not ranked next week. Because it's one thing to lose a game, like on a last-second field goal or something, dude, but you were getting blown out. Down by 38. 38, and it's only the end of the third. They have a whole nother quarter to go. Let's go, dude. Purdue's beating Minnesota. I don't know. I kind of want Minnesota to win that. So when we play them in the Big Ten championship game, probably they're another good team. I don't know. There's been a lot of college football talk on this episode. I don't know why. It just kind of happened that way. I don't know. Talking about college football and chlamydia, which probably also two things that go together. I've never had chlamydia. I've never had a sexually transmitted disease. Yay for me. Yeah, I don't know what that does. I don't know what any of them are. I know that HIV is really bad, and I know that herpes gives you little bumps, but I don't know what chlamydia or like gonorrhea or syphilis do. I think syphilis is the one that eats your brain. I think that's what like Ben Franklin had. I don't know. Somebody was just like, I was talking about syphilis that came up the other day in conversation, and somebody was like, yeah, there's the reason that syphilis, I guess, like can eat away at parts of your flesh and like can like eat away at your brain and shit and like cause holes in your head. And that was something that people were like, yeah, and that's why everybody wore wigs back in the day, was because of the holes in their head. That might be true, but what a stupid solution to that problem. Should be like, hey, I know there's a hole. I know there's a gaping orifice where there should be solid human skull, and now there's exposed brain matter. But just throw some animal hair and dust on it. That'll be fine. I'm sorry. I know that medicine wasn't crushing it back then, but that can't be your solution. It's like, hey, just throw a couple pieces of horsehair that we dyed white on it, and that's fine. I don't get it. I don't think that's not the best way to go about your business. It's not the best way to get your business done, is by just putting a wig. What if I did that now? Just hey, I've got a flesh-eating degenerative disease, and there's a big hole in my head. Well, time to buy a new Yankee cap. Time to buy more beanies. Just cover that shit up. I don't think that's a tenable solution to that issue. Just my thoughts. My thoughts on that matter. I don't know. We're at a little over 45. All right. So I've still got to do some laundry. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up. This has been an episode of Matt Bowman is Bothered, and I've been kind of bothered all over by a bunch of different things. So again, if you like what you hear here, please follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Matt Bowman Comedy. Follow me on YouTube, Matt Bowman Comedy. Twitter, Batmoman. And yeah, I'm trying to get better at just posting things and just trying to stay consistent. And for those of you that do follow me and keep that going, I really appreciate it. And I'm trying to make this into something. It's going to be a long road. But if you're here now, thank you. And just know that you were on the ground floor, and that's pretty cool. So I appreciate it. Yeah, Matt Bowman. This is Matt Bowman is Bothered, and I'm going to get out of here for this week. Stay bothered, folks. Have a good day. Bye.